Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unstoppable Marketer Podcast. With me, as always, is you know who. You guessed it, Mark Goldhart.
What's up?
You're always on your phone every time I introduce you.
I'm a busy man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got people to see and places to be.
Got people to talk to. No, that's not true. It's usually something work related.
Yeah.
Because I'm terrible at texting back, actually.
I'm no good at texting back either. No, I actually have never noticed that until we just recently. Hey, if you are listening to this, we're on YouTube now.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Nice.
We have been
I should subscribe.
We have been. Yeah, you should get our numbers up, dude.
I should go.
Come on, help me
I'm
out
gonna go
here.
subscribe tomorrow.
We are on YouTube, so if you want to watch this, if you're like, hey, these guys sound all right, I want to watch it. There it is. But so I've been watching ours. So like when we get
Oh,
our
you have?
podcasts edited, I don't listen to them anymore. Like I watch them, and I'm like, I touch my nose a lot. Every time Mark is on his phone in the very beginning, but it's funny because like we're so used to just like it's mostly it's just audio. So people like we can do whatever we want and we can like, but I'm like, I've been a little bit more self-conscious about like where I might itch myself during the podcast or where I might,
Yeah, I kind of forget that
you know, am I
actually
picking my
filming
nose
this.
potentially?
Yeah, I should have shaved my neared, maybe.
You got the,
Yeah, I got it. Got
well,
some
and you
beard.
just got the
Did you get that
the
crack?
beard going as well.
Yeah, that sounded good.
That's big. Hold up. Oh, dang it.
Oh,
One?
There's one.
Yeah, I got one.
Natural. Who needs a chiropractor?
Chiropractor?
I just... Except it's probably not good to do that. I'm sure there's some reason not to.
Nah, that's folklore.
All right, well,
So-
so we got to freshen up our appearance a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, we gotta worry
Ugh.
about our looks a little bit more. Okay, so
Order that teeth
I
whitening.
got some good little email got sent to me last night. I was just minding my own business, and
Your grandma gave you some feedback?
I wish she did. Speaking
you an
of
email?
speaking of my grandma, so for those of you who have been listening long enough, you hopefully know this by now that my grandma is, I think, our number one fan. And I saw her on, so it was maybe like 3 or 4 episodes ago. I cannot remember how she got brought up, but she got brought up outside of just like, oh, my grandma said this.
That's right.
Do you remember?
Did.
Like,
yeah.
like there was almost like a bit that we did about my grandma.
It's about her opening up a store
Yeah. And
for her painting.
she came up to me on a Sunday dinner and she was like, I was just walking and I heard you guys talking about quilting. And I was like, what?
Oh, quilting.
And then I heard my name and she was like almost in tears, like thought it was just the nicest, sweetest thing. And then my grandpa came up to me afterwards. He's like, you just made your grandma's year. That was just like the sweetest thing you could ever done.
Nice.
So now we're doing this again. So hopefully she...
Is she going to make us some cookies now?
I mean, I'm not saying anything negative about my grandma's cookies, but I don't know if she's ever been... I don't recall her as somebody who's been like
She's not
known for her cookies.
Okay.
I'm sure she's got great cookies, you know, makes delicious
Brownies?
cookies, but
She's got to have some kind of grandma treat.
I'm trying to think.
Snickerdoodles? Banana bread?
I don't know. This is probably...
Zucchini
I'm sure
bread?
she does, but I can't think of what it is, and that's no knock on her. That's more of a knock on my memory. But,
Well,
you know.
she'll hear this, so now she's going to...
Yeah, she'll have to let me know. But anyways, okay. No, I did not get a message from my grandma. I got an email saying my Cybertruck is here.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's here?
well, no, it's here for me to order.
It's on the production line.
So a year and a half ago, whenever
Yep.
it was announced that you could pre-order a Cybertruck, I did it.
It was a $25 deposit?
No, I think it was $100
$100?
or $150, something like that.
Okay.
And I got my email, so it's ready to go. And then I watched the live event yesterday. Did you watch it?
No.
Do you watch any of it?
No, I saw clips of it. I figured that kind of showed what I needed to see.
Did you see the clip of the him racing that race in the Porsche?
Yeah, I did.
Wasn't that awesome?
It's pretty cool.
Talon, did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that. That was nuts.
Beating a Porsche 911 while towing a
While
Porsche
towing
911.
a Porsche 911. I thought that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
So
that's nuts.
I'm excited. but I don't. I'm actually what I am disappointed in is two things. I was way impressed with like the capabilities of it,
Yeah.
right? Like
Well, it is capable.
it's the toughest truck out there, they say. Well, what they showed,
Yeah.
right?
Is it physically tough, emotionally tough?
Physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentally tough?
That's a great question. I don't know. But anyways,
We'll find out.
yeah. What I am disappointed in is one, the pricing is significantly higher than they said it was going to be. But everybody's kind of talked about that.
What is it?
So you're like for a rear wheel drive, no bells and whistles, you're at 60. Yeah.
Rear wheel?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Right. And originally it was going to be more like 45. Like that's what they had like sold. Like the bottom was going to be like 45 and the top was going to be like 75.
So how much for all wheel? Or I mean,
All
does
wheel-
it have a 4-wheel low, or
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
just all wheel?
The four wheel kind of like,
Does it have a rear differential locker on it option, or
I don't know what any of that means. So I don't know the answer.
do you know, Talmadge?
Anyways, that one, the next model, the next one up is like 80.
Okay.
And then they call it the Cyber Beast, I believe, is like 98 or 100 or something like that.
Okay.
And that just has a little bit more towing capacity, I think,
Okay.
that one. But so pricing was a little bit like, okay. Number one. And number two was they had really pitched this. It's going to be it's going to go 500 miles. Like that's how long it'll be able to go.
Yeah, there's no way.
But the stock is like 340.
That's pretty
Now
good.
you can buy an add-on and it says it gets up to 470.
Okay.
But if any of you own a Tesla, which I recently became a Tesla owner in the last 3 months,
Yeah.
300 miles does not equal 300 miles in the Tesla world.
It's like
It's like 220.
oh. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense though. I mean, every car says their MPG is X amount, and usually it
yeah, but it feels like a little bit less.
feels like even a little
Yeah, you
more.
feel like you get a little bit gypped with the Tesla.
Okay.
If I'm being honest. I really like it, but other than that. So now I think like 340 miles with a truck, and if you're actually going to use it like a truck,
How? Yeah.
towing, like what is it, 100 miles that you're going to get?
Probably.
Like I'm thinking to myself, because I go to we're a boating family. We love to go boating. And you carry those massive boats.
Who's gonna use it?
How could I tow outside of going to a lake that's like maybe 20, 30 minutes away? And even then, like, especially here in Utah, like if you're going to a lake here in Utah that's 30, 40 minutes away, you're going into Park City area, right? Summit County.
Yeah, so you gotta go up the canyon.
So you're going up the canyon.
Yeah.
Or like we go to Lake Powell, which is this 5.5 hour drive.
You know, that's probably why you're disappointed in the range. I bet the Tesla range, I wonder, do they calculate it based off of like a flat driving terrain? Is like you get 300 miles if you're driving flat the whole time?
That's a good question.
Or do they test it on inclines?
Well, like when they say like what does that mean when it's 330 miles or whatever? I don't know the answer to that. What is cool about the Tesla is now with their newest software update, if you it will like so if I type in I'm heading GPS, you put something in the GPS, it will track the terrain and it will track the wind. So like if like you're going to be going into the wind, and it will calculate how many miles and how much of your battery it's going to take off.
Wow.
Not just like distance. Oh, you're heading 50 miles, therefore it's going to be 50 miles off. It might say like 75 because weather's bad or whatever. It's pretty cool.
That
don't know how
sounds,
accurate
that
it is.
sounds really cool, but like pretty useless.
Well, yes and no.
Like it depends on how far you drive, but
Yeah, I mean it's
for most people that it probably just is cool, but they're still going home and charging it after like 150 miles.
or so there's like a lot of people and once again I'm still a newbie in this world, where that is nice is like if you're somebody who's not always like plugging theirs in and charging it. So for example, like if I drive mine, because I don't drive far, if I drive mine and I've got like 40, 50 miles off of it, I'm not always just plugging it and charging it. You know, like sometimes I don't start charging it until it hits a certain thing.
Okay.
I just don't like have a need to. So if you happen to do that, but then you're like, oh, I got to drive up like an hour and a half to see a client or whatever.
Then you're
Like, oh crap, I can't do that because the weather's bad. So that's where it could get,
yeah.
you know. But what are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on the Tesla truck? Didn't you buy one too?
I put it deposit, but I'm not gonna
You're not gonna
get it.
partake?
No, I'm actually downgrading in my life. I'm going to no electronic capabilities. I'm starting to worry that maybe one day the government can just turn your car off. Not me.
Not you.
Not me.
Gas only.
Gas only, key. I have a key now to turn my ignition on. Key started ignition only.
Brilliant. Walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies,
phones?
ham radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, no way. I won't be stopped.
They won't get you.
They won't stop me.
That won't stop your life at all.
Yeah, when they fake the alien invasion and turn our cars off,
Well, what about
I'm out of here.
what about? I mean, because I'm thinking I'm gonna get one, but I think I might just turn around and sell it. Do you think there's potential there? You don't think you're gonna make any money?
I don't know. People are dumb, so maybe.
I think so.
I mean, first generation software is just always a little tricky. I mean, I'm not going to get one strictly speaking because it's a first generation and I don't really trust it.
Yeah,
I
generally
would
agree
rather
with that.
just go buy a Y or something
You can buy mine.
and call it good. Because those have been around for a while. Like, you know what you're going to get out of it. Like, the Cybertruck looks really cool, but I would actually want to use it like a truck.
Yeah.
So then I'm just using it as a car.
You don't have a need for a truck.
No. Well, I do, but I'd want a truck.
Yeah.
Like, electric vehicles are not capable of doing what trucks and SUVs do right now.
Well, I think you're wrong.
I mean, sure, for 100 miles they can.
Yeah, there you go.
And that sounds pretty cool until you like try to do something.
Fair enough.
So I mean, that's all I'm saying. No,
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I
Yeah.
hope people. I think it's great that there's early adopters out there that are going to go spend their money on it.
But you're not that guy.
Yeah, same thing with like the COVID shot. You know, I waited a couple rounds.
Yeah.
Let other people do the first gen. see,
Let's see if other people get messed
see,
up from
yeah,
it.
see if their eyes burst out or anything.
Speaking of Tesla, Elon Musk. Was it Deal Summit? The New York Times Deal Summit?
Yeah.
Did you hear what he's in the news for right now?
Sure did. Yeah,
So for those
telling
of-
everyone to go f themselves.
Yeah, so the guy, I can't remember what the dude's name is that's interviewing him, but he's pretty much asking him, right? Like he's like, and I'm not reviewing this for you because I know I'm reviewing this for people who are listening. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm not patronizing you here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
So he's at this Deal Summit, which is Deal Summit. Do you know what Deal Summit is? Can you describe what it is?
Some lame event by New York Times, probably.
Yeah, where they talk about big mergers and acquisitions and business things.
Yeah, something if you're really into stocks, probably.
I've
matters.
never ever watched more than a minute and a half of it, and it was yesterday when I watched Elon Musk's clip that I'm talking about. So, but anyways, this guy's trying to put him in a hole because Elon Musk has gotten himself into trouble, as he does, for, I think it was something anti-Semitic that he got in trouble with Twitter, where he said something that
Allegedly. Yes.
allegedly, yes, whatever. So anyways,
Well, he said something. It's up to the public domain to interpret if
to
if
decide if he was being anti-Semitic
Yeah.
or not. Yes. Okay.
So then he went
We're
to
not
Israel.
getting into that piece of it, right? But that's what he's got in hot water for. So a lot of really big brands have pulled away from advertising on X, aka Twitter.
Although a lot hadn't been anyways. But yeah.
Sure. Disney being one of them.
Yep.
And this guy says, "Hey, what do you say?" Like he's kind of almost trying to get him to like admit he was wrong, apologize, et cetera, et cetera. And Elon Musk's take was, "Hold on, you're gonna blackmail me into advertising. You're gonna blackmail me with money. Go after yourself. Like, don't advertise with us.
And then he pointed out that Bob Iger was in the
And then he
audience.
said, "Hey Bob," or something like that,
Yeah.
referring to the CEO of
Disney.
Disney. So, but then he also explained, like, hey, the reason why I'm not worried about this is because X is such a beloved tool by the masses. What pays for X is advertising dollars, or a big chunk of it, I guess, right? That's their
I
revenue.
mean, no, that is what pays for it.
The reason why I said the big chunk is because you got the people who buy the verified now, that, you know, the individual layman,
Yeah.
right? And however much that's bringing them, I don't know.
Yeah. But it would die without advertising.
Sure, exactly. And he's like, they won't. Like, they're going to be the ones that are going to be known to kill one of the biggest social media platforms. It's like, they won't do it.
Well, then he pointed out that those people would end up boycotting the companies that boycotted Twitter.
Yeah.
To which, if I remember right, the guy said, "Oh, you're saying that these people would do that?" And he said, "Yes. Look at Disney. People are boycotting Disney already."
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. He did have a line in there that was also really interesting, where he said companies are more worried about the being perceived as good than actually doing good. I think his actual quote, I'm paraphrasing, was, "They're more concerned about looking good while doing evil."
Yes, he did say something like that.
And that was while he was explaining that Tesla has actually done more for the planet than any company on Earth,
Right.
right? Because of their electric vehicles and solar panels or whatever.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're not going to get political here about what to think or anything. But I think it's interesting to think about this from the lens of a marketer and just business.
Yep.
So the first thing that was interesting to me was Tesla has never advertised, and yet they have grown to be, I think he said they sell 3 times more or 4 times more than every other EV combined.
I don't know.
Was the stat, if I remember right.
Okay.
And without advertising, which is pretty incredible.
They don't advertise at all?
No.
Still?
No.
Zero advertising
Tesla
dollars.
has never advertised.
Okay.
Never.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty wild, right?
I believe it, you know?
So that's part of why I think he can have that kind of attitude, is he's built companies that haven't been dependent on advertising, but Twitter's a different beast, so time will tell if that works out in his favor or not. But going to Tesla and their biggest channel is essentially customer referrals, right? Customers and then customer referrals would probably be the biggest channel, or just, hey, I saw it in the real world and now
Yes.
I want it.
Yes.
Which then became more of a, oh, and now I'm seeing it on TV. It's cool.
Yes.
And everyone's just talking about how cool they are because it's such a great product.
Correct.
So their biggest channel is
Referrals.
what most people would deem as other, right?
Yeah, their attributed channel.
Their attributed channel is other,
Yes.
or friends, family. And so
Referral. Yeah.
I think what happens with marketers is sometimes we get so caught up in all of the big channels that we have to pay attention to. Meta, Pinterest, not Pinterest. That's a
TikTok,
ugh,
Google.
That we forget that, like, it's the actual product that's going to be living and breathing out in the real world,
Yes.
that real people are going to be using, and that matters a lot.
Yes.
And so how do you plan in your marketing funnel to sell to people and then have other people see it, right? Get customer referrals, friends and family, and grow the other channel. And we bring this up because we do consulting, and we see a lot of businesses who their top channel is other. And so sometimes a business will say, oh, well, our top channel is other, friends and family. So, like, why are we spending money? And where should they spend money?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm spending money in Pinterest. Oh, is that a bug? What is that? That's hair. Is that a hair in my eye?
Oh, I didn't
Ugh.
see anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of my-
yeah.
it's just one of my
That's a
hairs.
lock.
Just like,
That's definitely one of my hairs.
is that one of yours?
That's one of my
Where
kids.
does that come from?
My kids call my hair, by the way. My kids don't.
Buzz Lightyear?
No, they call them sticklets.
Oh, sticklets.
I have
Little sticklets.
I have sticklets. So, Dad, you don't have hair. You have sticklets.
Sticklets.
Yeah, and then when my like 5-year-old, she'll draw me, and this is gonna like depending on who's listening to our podcast, you might not know anything, but you remember Doug Funny?
No.
Cartoon. Doug?
Doug Funny?
Yeah, his name was Doug Funny. You're too young. You're too young for that.
Oh, the cartoon Doug.
Doug. Yeah, his name
I know
was
that.
Doug Funny.
I didn't know that.
His last name was Funny. Yeah.
I never watched it, but I know what it is.
Well, he was kind of like Caillou, bald and just like that's how they draw me. I look
was that
like
a
Doug.
Disney Channel? Doug?
It was either Disney or Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Sorry. Go on.
I grew up without cable, so yeah.
You had hair in your eye. You were saying something about referrals.
Other.
Oh yeah, people are saying, should we spend money?
Should we spend money?
Money, Pinterest,
and
Google,
yeah, where
whatever.
should we spend it? Like we need to grow our top funnel, or we need to grow our bottom of the funnel, and so I think a good topic is where should you actually be spending money if you have a very strong other or friend family channel. And the conclusion I think we've come to over the last while is it's more evidence to actually keep spending and throttling down on middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel initiatives, because your top funnel becomes people referring it.
Yes.
So you create a flywheel effect, right?
Correct.
So instead of trying to do everything, just stick to a few things that you're good at.
Yes. Well, we always tell people the concept here that Mark's talking about is the more you sell, the more you sell.
Yeah.
Right?
If your product's good. If it's not, then you might be in trouble.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I guess we could break this down into two different things, right? We're having two topics, which is one is how do you get your other attributed channel to be as high as, in the top 3
And
refers.
it's really simple.
Yep.
It's that you have a good product.
And then how do you get and then what do you do when that happens?
Mm-hmm.
What channels do you mess with, right? So which direction should we take?
This podcast episode is brought to you by Bestie. Bestie is the first ever AI-powered post-purchase survey platform. Bestie is revolutionizing the way you understand your customers. Are you uncertain about what motivates your customers to choose your products? Unsure how customers are discovering your brand or which marketing channels are most effective in driving sales to your website? Or do you know how long it takes your customers to make a purchase decision? Look no further, because Bestie is the ultimate solution for you. With Bestie's cutting-edge AI feature, you can effortlessly create comprehensive surveys in just a matter of seconds without the need for any of your valuable time. And that is not all. Bestie's automated insights will regularly provide you with actionable information week over week, giving you the tools to drive your business forward. Now, with the holiday season in full swing, there is no better time to start gathering valuable customer data. Bestie is offering an exclusive 30% discount for Q4 alongside a 14-day free trial. Do not miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your business and truly get to know your customers. As e-commerce owners and agency owners ourselves, we use Bestie every single day to help us make better decisions on how we communicate, acquire, and grow our customers. Visit Bestie AI or check out apps.shopify.com/bestie today to secure your Q4 pricing. Don't wait. Start making data-driven decisions with Bestie today.
What do you want to talk?
Well, I think we go with what channels.
Well, let's talk.
So let's
let's talk the other one first, because you just kind of said how do you do it?
It's simple.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, we don't even have to go into
We'll
it.
say it.
You have to have a good product.
Okay,
Period.
I think you're right there, but I also think there's maybe one more.
Oh, you have to have an exceptional product.
Well, no, 100% yes, good product, but I also think a really, really so
Because this is how, going back to
great,
Tesla,
great product.
they had a great product that was innovative. And now early models, Teslas weren't spectacular in terms of longevity and everything else, but they were spectacular in their features, and it was new, it felt cool. And so what Tesla did is they started out making like Sportsters. So let's just make this thing as fast and as cool as possible.
Yes.
And then once we make a cool product that these rich people will talk about and buy, then we can start then going down into more upper middle class price ranges.
Sure.
So they were talked about. They made a great product that was talked about, that was couldn't be achieved by everyone at the time, but now their prices are pretty reasonable. Most people,
Sure.
not most people, but you know, when we're talking reasonable, you can get it into a Tesla.
Well, you get like a Model 3 that's
for
used for
36K
like or less.
yeah, but a
mean,
brand new one you can get for 36, I think, is the base.
Yeah, that's what I got mine for, I think.
So the point being is they did it just by having great products that were innovative.
Okay, yes. So you've got great products and then you have good products. So I think you can still do this with just a good product. And
Yeah, good product with a great brand.
that's what I'm saying. So that's the second thing is the good brand / community, right? And I think there's a lot of people out there who will say something like, for example, Androids feature to feature are better than an Apple iPhone. And actually more of the population uses an Android phone.
I think that's the Earth's population. Yeah.
Right, not necessarily the United States.
Yeah, I'm quite positive in the United
Yeah, I
States the
can't-
iPhone is the winner.
Look that up, actually. I can't, because somebody's arguing with me
Yeah,
that.
somebody said 70%, but that's in the world.
Was that somebody who was like trying to like slam me for a post? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, nonetheless, but Apple's got an amazing brand, right? So you could say
Yes.
like, hey, toe to toe, feature wise, an Apple versus an Android, Android's gonna win. I don't know. I've
Yeah.
never had one before, and I never will. But
But I would gladly take one for 100,000.
debatable. Yeah,
I would.
We'll see.
It's not debatable. I would.
You have to listen.
You
to the-
wouldn't.
You have to listen to the last episode to understand what we're talking about. Talmadge, fact checker. What do we got?
So in the United States, 58% of people use iPhones, 42% use Android.
Yeah, where's that? Who's that user that was trying to knock me? I'm gonna call him out here.
Well, in the world, I'm pretty sure it is 70%.
Yeah, what did this person say? Look, what is this person? Should we call him out? Oh, yeah. Is it rude to call a username out?
In the world, it is 3.5 billion users for Android and 1.3 billion users for iOS.
Yeah, so he was right on the
world.
world front. Who talks world metrics? Anyways,
Not me.
So, nor me. Anyways, a good brand.
Yeah.
Right. A good brand can also do that. So those are your two things. A quote that I use all the time. I don't know if you always use it, but I say it all the time on this podcast. My favorite quote from any guest we've ever had on the podcast was a gentleman named Chris Hall, who is I think the head of marketing for Bruce Bolt baseball batting gloves. And he said, behind every good marketer is a better product.
True.
And this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a good product, if your top 3 responses to what the channel somebody's coming in from is friends and family, other, referral, whatever, you're in a hot spot.
You got a good product
You got a great product.
or a great brand.
Or a great brand.
Yeah. And so now what do you do?
Please.
Too many companies start out with Google and Facebook, Meta,
Yes.
and now they decide they'll hit a certain point where they think they need to start going, quote, diversifying.
Yeah.
Like I need to go omni-channel, I need to get in TV, I need to get into Pinterest, I need to get into all these channels, I need to get into TikTok, I need to get into every channel possible because I'm going to lose out if I don't. When the evidence that we have seen does not suggest that you should do that.
Yeah, listen. Okay, it's funny because whenever we talk about these things that we see brands now doing, it's funny because when I was a CMO, I was doing these things too.
We gotta go.
Yeah. So when I was a CMO back in 2018, it was like, that was the year the pay-to-play model hit, right? So it was May.
Yeah, when the algorithm changed
Yes.
and organics just sucked.
Yeah, so this was back when like you were getting revenue from just a post. Like you just like taking a picture of like a girl wearing a backpack and she looked pretty and she was in front of a waterfall and it sold $100,000 of bags that day or something like that.
Yeah.
It was those days, and I legitimately remember looking. Whoa, I got close. I legitimately remember looking like April. Oh man, we're crushing it, and then May hit. And all of a sudden our revenue was like way, 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 way down. I'm like, what the freak is going on? And I'm looking at our paid channels and everything is like right. And then I jumped into Google Analytics and looked at our referral channel on Instagram
Down 80%.
or more.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't even know what to do. Right? Like, so, why was I saying this? Oh, I was saying,
Because then you, instead
Yes.
of just focusing on what was going
So,
well,
yeah. So there was
let's go into Pinterest, let's go into,
the theory was
yeah.
you have to diversify because you never know what these channels, what algorithm update could wreck you. So it was like, do good in Instagram, go do good in Pinterest, go do good with influencers, go do, so the narrative was diversify. So you don't get caught with your pants down when
Yeah.
Meta or Instagram or whatever comes at you with a change.
Yeah, when really the strategy should be own your audience, right?
Exactly.
Get email subscribers, get people committed to you as a brand. And if you do that, then when these changes happen, you can weather the storm because the storm always settles down a little bit.
Yes,
But you can always weather a storm if you have a committed audience and a list
absolutely.
that you can contact without having to pay
Yes.
an arm and a leg. But nonetheless, yeah. So a lot of brands get caught up in this idea, and then I think people get spread out across different channels, thinking, oh, well, it's like, Pinterest is kind of the same as
Yeah.
Instagram. And this is no knock on Pinterest either. I think Pinterest is a great channel for certain companies and certain demographics. If that's who you're trying to
Totally.
target, it can operate really well for some people.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still a successful company, which means that there's ad spend and
It's
people
working.
are working.
Yeah.
When
But when you're a small company, you got to just do what's working and double down on what's working. It's
you
that
de-
simple. Like you just want to say what works. Let's double down on what works until it doesn't work.
let's
anymore.
define small company.
I
Okay,
would,
because
I'd define anyone under $10 million shouldn't even think about diversifying.
I would agree with that. Email, SMS, Meta, Google.
Like that's pretty much all you need. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll see that all the time. I mean, I think there was a conversation out there on Twitter not too long ago about, man, I know this company that's 9 figures and they did it off of just Google and Meta.
Well, I think
And they didn't even use Google Analytics.
yeah.
They didn't even use any attribution software. It was just literally Facebook,
When I spent more money here, I made more money, so I keep putting more money here.
Google, and that was all they did.
I think it was Moiz Ali, who is one of the founders of Native.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know that, Native is that ridiculously expensive
Deodorant.
deodorant, shampoos.
Oh, they do shampoos now too?
Yeah. We spend money with them because my wife cares about organic things like that and what we put on our body. So we are those people who spend a ridiculous amount of the deodorant I'm wearing right now cost me $15.
Well,
yeah.
I just don't wear deodorant.
It's crazy.
I mean,
You just wear layers so it keeps the stench in.
yeah.
Smart.
I just shower.
You just shower every time you get home.
I just shower once a day.
Do you really not wear deodorant? Are you being serious?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never really smelled you.
No one has. I don't stink.
My wife is the same way. She probably is so embarrassed about this, but my wife is like, she's like, I just don't sweat there. I never
Yeah.
ever stink. She goes through one thing of deodorant like a year. She's like, from time to time, like I'll wear it. But
Yeah, if I'm going out, I'll put a little deodorant and some cologne on, but that's about it.
like, what do you mean when you're going out?
Like a date.
Are you out right now here with
No.
me? Okay. You going out with your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, I wish. I stink, man. Like I could not do that.
Yeah, it's in your diet. You just got to figure out what your body doesn't like.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like I have a really decent diet. But I'm afraid of three things.
So now
in life.
everyone knows I don't wear deodorant.
I'm afraid of three
Very
things.
rare.
I'm afraid of BO.
You're afraid of it.
Yeah, having BO, having a booger,
Okay.
and I'm not as much anymore now that I'm bald. But I was always afraid of dandruff.
Did you get dandruff?
No, never,
But you were,
never ever. But
you
I
were
was
scared
always
of it?
afraid of it. So I always my whole entire high school life had Head and Shoulders. I just always shampooed with Head and Shoulders to avoid it.
It's probably why you went bald.
So, anyways, What were we-
Overloaded your
what were we talking about?
where to put your money.
Yeah. Oh, Moiz Ali,
Yeah.
Native, expensive. Okay. I think I saw a tweet from him saying 25 million, Like if you're under 25 million, don't worry about it. Like these are your channels.
And there's probably a lot of truth to that.
I will say this, like and there's some caveats to this too, right? There are some businesses that are built for Pinterest.
That's true.
There are some businesses. What Mark and I have found as we've consulted with people is if you have the ability to create, like if you can create good native short form content and you've built a presence on TikTok, then TikTok works really, really well. Like that could be that channel or one of those channels. Mm-hmm. If you're not organically present on TikTok or you don't have a problem solution product that blows up, then it's not. Like if you're under 10 million, like I don't think you mess with it personally.
Unless you're outsourcing it and you can outsource it.
What do you mean?
So if you can outsource it to a company that creates that kind of content.
Oh, the content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
what I just mean
the
is
content works.
If your channel
exactly.
that's what I mean. If you're organically getting people to your channel, whether it's you or not, or other people are talking about you a lot. Like I know that Zook Relief guy that we had on, he's got a problem solution product and people are posting about him all the time.
And he does a great job of obviously promoting that in an organic way.
Yes, so for somebody like him, Facebook and TikTok are probably the two channels.
Yeah.
I bet he's not doing anything with Google. Maybe.
That's tricky too because it's medical technically, so Google would be tricky.
It'd be harder, yeah.
So again, of course there's caveats out there. We're just saying in general, you can scale with Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
And you don't have to diversify all that much.
Yeah.
Now, again, maybe you have a wizard and there's some things at play here where you have someone who's so good at media buying and creating content that you can diversify, but that's generally not where most people are at.
Well, and if you're in that situation, you're probably growing over to that $10 million mark too.
You probably are.
Right. If you're finding a way to hit organically, then you're going to grow.
And again, going back to the original point, the reason why we're talking about this is because Meta, yes, there's some top funnel plays in Meta as well as Google because of YouTube.
Yes.
So you can still start getting into top funnel plays within these two channels that, maybe you're trying to test other optimization events around or different kind of funnels, whatever you're doing. But these are going to tend to veer towards what's called middle of the funnel or bottom of the funnel. So people who are ready to purchase your product or kind of in research or almost ready.
Sure.
And if you get those people, then guess what? If you have a great product, then more people will see your product and they will talk about your product.
Yeah.
And then you will grow. And so then you will push them over into the other channel.
What about referral programs?
It's so not worth it. I'm sorry. I've never seen it work. Have you?
No, never. There are some companies though that I would assume it works with. So like Delta, like Delta, I think that like I am strictly a Delta member because of not necessarily because of the referral stuff.
No, I was gonna say
I guess
no.
it's more the points that I like.
You like the points, but how often have you actually cashed in a referral?
Actually, in my early days, I did maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you got like 40,000 miles, which is like
a lot.
I mean, that could be like two tickets to Hawaii, depending on the time of year,
Right.
So I did that a couple times, cashed in on that.
Like everyone sign up for the Delta Sky Miles Award.
Like loyalty programs, to be fair, are both referral and what I'm talking about.
That's true.
Generally. So, but I think that in travel, that's really the only place I've seen referral and loyalty programs to the eye look like they work. I don't know.
I've never seen them provide an actual lift
to a company that we've worked with or
which
people we've talked to.
Companies from 1 million a year to mid 8 figures a year.
Sure.
I've never seen a referral program actually pull its weight at all.
Yeah, I agree as well. That's a hot take because a lot of people want it to be.
You want it because what happens is you see people like us because of friends and family. Let's put more gas on that fire and let's really cap that out. And so then you go get a referral program or loyalty program or whatever it is,
and you pay $3,000 a month for the service,
and then it just never.
And then 6 months later, you look at the data and you're like,
we
haven't grown.
No. But of course you haven't grown because you have to get new people.
Yeah.
And you get new people by acquiring new customers through Meta and Google.
And most people in these referral programs, like, they're weak too. You want a referral program that'll work. I mean, and even then, it's probably not even going to work that much. But it's like, hey, we've been wearing these standard issue Slacker pants and we love them, right? But it's like, hey, if you can get Mark to buy these, then I'll send you a free pair. Maybe that could work.
The problem, this is the problem. There is a reason. Okay, here's my hot take. This is why referral programs don't work. There's a reason why salespeople are the highest paid employees at organizations. It's because sales is hard. And a referral program is essentially telling people to go sell for you.
Go be your sales team.
99% of people won't do that because 99% of people aren't good salesmen and they don't want to sell.
Right.
So that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah, that feels MLM-y.
There's a reason why salespeople get paid so much.
Should we have Yacht Post sponsor this episode?
They should. Well, they do reviews too.
They have gotten it.
And that does, social proof does matter.
Well, probably because they've realized that their loyalty program wasn't working. So let's jump.
Didn't they
into
start with reviews though?
No, they think they bought it.
Did they?
Yeah, it was. They bought Yotpo. Either Yotpo was loyalty, and then they merged with something.
That's true.
I can't remember what it is. It happened in 2018.
But I would love to
Nothing
hear if
against
somebody listens to this
Yotpo.
podcast and has actually seen a referral program work.
Yes.
And again, when I say program, like a SaaS that you're paying for, or I'd love to hear if you guys do something organically, like you put a coupon in with a signed note.
We will have you on the podcast as a guest.
Yes, I'd love to hear about it.
If you have figured this out, and when we say figured it out, we mean that when you implemented it, you saw revenue and net new customer acquisition grow,
Yes.
right? Like you got to have proof that it's happened because we don't see it.
Never. And I think that's a pretty easy way to explain it, right? Selling is hard, even if you like something.
Well, and usually like what works best in the friends and family, right? That's that attribution channel. It's very rarely me coming to you and being like, Mark, you have to go try these pants, or you got to go test this restaurant. It's more you being like, have you eaten anywhere good lately?
Oh, I love this place.
Oh, you got to go try Joe's Sushi Shack.
See, and I think maybe that's the other psychological issue with loyalty programs and referral programs is once you incentivize someone to do it, it's no longer natural for them. Like you ruined it.
Yeah.
It's like, because now in the back of their mind, it's like, oh, I can get this, which ruins the entire conversation for some people.
Well, not only that, but the other thing is I heard this somewhere because I don't think I made this up, but I've been saying this a lot. I just don't think I'm clever enough to make this up. But I think I heard somebody say, I just can't remember who said it or what. I think I heard somebody say, people don't share good things. They share what makes them look good. And so like sharing about a credit, like an American Express credit card doesn't make you look good.
Mm-mm.
Sharing about pants doesn't make you look good. Sharing a new artist that you found makes you look a little good.
But
sharing,
if there's no incentive attached, though, I think you still feel good about it because you're like, hey, I love these pants, but there's no incentive. You're doing it out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to bribe people to go do it for you, it now becomes a sales pitch.
Yeah. But once again, you're generally not with those pants going out and telling the world. You're generally saying it more so like if you happen to be talking about clothes, even if they don't ask you. Like you're not just going to come up to me like, dude, I just bought these pants. I mean, maybe if they're the most amazing things that have ever happened to you.
I have with these pants.
I have with these pants actually too. But most of the time you're not doing that.
No.
It's going to be a conversation that has to be stirred and spurred.
Yeah.
So
yeah, referral programs, blah.
DM me.
Would love to hear that. If someone's good at it, I'd love to hear why.
At the Trevor Crump, prove us wrong. Come on the podcast. We would love to have you.
We would.
Yeah, come here to Utah. We'll get you an Olipop. Sponsors of the Unstoppable Marketer podcast.
I wish.
Just kidding. They haven't DM'd me back yet. Come on, guys.
I bet I could get Guayaki to sponsor us. They're nice. Is it mate?
I don't even know what that is. Oh, the mate company. That's right.
Come on.
I'm a yerba mate guy.
A sherba.
Yeah. Did I derail us?
Yeah, but we're done.
This is it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Well, there you go.
So what was the lesson?
The lesson is have a good product
Have a good product.
and or a good brand.
Yes.
And if you do that, like you solve, that is a good point. This is the point to end on. So many people think that the marketing channel is what's going to like win for you. Even they think it is Facebook or Google, even if it is one of those two. But like, if once again, if you don't have a good product, then you just need other people talking about you organically.
And it's a good thing you brought up the brand, because we've consulted with people where we have jumped into their business and they actually do have a great product, but their brand has been so misaligned with their product and why people keep buying it that ads don't work, because everything you're putting out there is misaligned with the experience.
Yeah.
And so hone in on what people love about you.
Yeah. Why people buy from you.
Right? Hone in on your brand. And if you do that, then you can start putting the gas on the fire of advertising.
Yeah.
And if you do have that, again, friend, family, and other traffic coming through, if you want to grow it, you can't grow it by growing it, because that is a derivative.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to think about it that way, in my opinion. Like, you can't earn a more derivative from derivative. Like, you have to actually buy more stock.
Yes.
Your stock would be the customer acquisition with Meta.
Man, if only
and
there
Google.
was a tool that could help you track referrals. This is an attribution channel. If only.
If only.
Yeah.
GA.
Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe Bestie too, yeah.
That's what I was jokingly referring to.
Yeah. Me too.
Maybe it would be better if we didn't say it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Just cut it out.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. We'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday. And check us out on YouTube. See what you think. I don't know.
That's good.
All right, see ya. Thank you so much for listening to the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. Please go rate and subscribe the podcast, whether it's good or bad. We want to hear from you, because we always want to make this podcast better. If you want to get in touch with me or give me any direct feedback, please go follow me and get in touch with me. I am at the Trevor Crump on both Instagram and TikTok. Thank you, and we will see you next week.